Tolerance. It's a word that we see commonly every day, from the newspaper being sold across the street to websites advocating it. But have any of us stopped and pondered, what does tolerance actually mean, instead of throwing it around for positive recognition? Well, that's why I'm here today. Imagine this. You live in a 17th century town in the middle of nowhere. Everyone around you shares the same belief, religion, culture, heritage. You're all okay with that. Then one day, someone new comes along with strange clothes, unusual way of life, and weird tastes in food. And frankly, you're all outright scared. Who is he? Why is he here? You ask yourselves. Rumors start to go around about him. Maybe he's a malevolent warlock. Maybe he brings bad luck. All in all, it becomes an unspoken agenda of the community to get rid of this person as a potential threat, because different is bad, right? Well, fast forward back to the present. In this room alone, how many nationalities are here? How many different cultures do we have? How many different languages do we speak? It is a common fact that all of us are different from one another in our own ways. This is a form of being tolerant in real life, where we learn to coexist with each other and work together peacefully. So what does it actually mean to be tolerant? Well, for me, being tolerant is accepting something that you don't necessarily agree with, but when you are given the power to stop it, you don't do so. You accept it as equally valid. What can be tolerated by me is that the idea doesn't cause harm and it doesn't disrespect anybody. Some of you might confuse being tolerant with being a pushover. But no, tolerance is not being pushed over. Being a pushover is essentially having to say yes to everything, even when you don't know anything about what you're saying yes to. You just say yes for the sake of saying yes. Tolerance is not a skill that we learn to do at birth. No, we aren't given the ability to tolerate from birth. But it's like any other skill we have. It's like learning how to walk. Some of us are better at doing it than others, but we all start out at the same rate. We all start out with having little to no experience of being tolerant to one another. So, like walking, we decide to get more experience on it. We decide to get more fine-tuned with it by getting more experience. And as soon as we get enough experience, it becomes second nature to us. That is how tolerance is learned by us. However, many of us are still intimidated and exasperated by things that may seem wildly out of our expectations, such as whether pineapple should be on pizza or whether the political stance is actually right for another party. This is called intolerance. It's where you don't accept the idea and you only want your point of view to be the correct point of view in the case. Intolerance has even permeated to what we've written with George Orwell's 1984 and Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. These scenarios, written by these authors, depict a largely intolerant society where a biased government has taken over and has implemented strict laws that the people have to follow, and severely punishes those who do not conform. Although these situations are rare in real life, intolerance still plays a major role in our society. Wars, civil unrest, and even persecution are some of the examples of the problems brought on by intolerance. The most famous cases of intolerance are the Holocaust and the Rohingya massacre, which killed 6 million and more than 1,000 people each. So, these problems may seem out of our hands. They may seem over our heads. We might think to ourselves, we can't solve these, but that is not the truth. Intolerance is only brought upon by the lack of tolerance within the society. kind of obvious. But if we as individuals learn to become more accepting towards others, if we learn to equally validate and value their thinking and ideas, we will be able to bring about a new social era, one which consists of amity and acceptance. We would gradually put an end to intolerance. We would gradually loosen its grip on our world, and we would have a better future. This would take lots of education from everybody. These problems may seem out of our reach. They may seem over our heads. They may seem out of our capability to solve, but that is not the case. The truth is, every single one of us can make a difference. Every single one of us can make a change. If we all learn as individuals to become more tolerant of each other, to become more accepting of ideas that may not mirror our own, but are still valid, we have the capacity to be able to become tolerant towards others. Although the road to the future may be as stormy as the sea, tolerance would serve as our guiding light to our better future.